She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Word of Mom Radio here on the Word of Mom Media Network. I'm your host, Dori DeCarlo, and you know we are here week after week, show after show, breaking those myths that mompreneurs and businesswomen, especially those of us building our businesses from home, that we're just dabbling in between bake sales and getting our nails done. We're not. We are smart, we are savvy, and we are sharing the wisdom of women in business and in life. And I'm looking forward to bringing today's guests in because as a mompreneur, nothing is more exciting than when your child is working with you. So I love the two women that I'm going to share. Nancy Wallace-Laabs is a seasoned real estate investor, broker, best-selling author, and nationally recognized speaker with nearly 2 decades of experience helping others create financial independence through property investing. She has been featured on numerous podcasts and at industry conferences for her expertise in simplifying real estate investing for everyday families. Nancy has trained hundreds of investors and realtors through her accredited courses and is known for her approachable, story-driven teaching lifestyle that empowers women to build confidence and long-term wealth. Kelcie Leka brings a modern corporate savvy perspective to Money Makin Mamas brand. Before stepping into real estate full-time, she built her career at a Fortune 500 company where she gained expertise in operations, leadership, and strategic planning. Kelcie's firsthand experience balancing career, motherhood, and financial goals allows her to connect deeply with moms who want to invest but feel short on time, money, or confidence. Together, Nancy and Kelcie founded Money Makin Mamas, a coaching and education company dedicated to helping moms create financial freedom through real estate investing without sacrificing family time. As a mother and daughter team, they combine seasoned expertise with fresh insight to grow and show women that wealth building isn't just possible, it's practical, empowering, and within reach for every mom ready to take the first step. So I could keep going on, but with all that being said, I'd much rather bring mother-daughter team into Word of Mom Radio. So Nancy, Kelcie, welcome to Word of Mom.
Well, thank you, Dori. Thank you so much for having us on. And, we're saying hi to everybody out there and we're excited. We like to show up and share our story and, hopefully leave empowerment for other women to say, you know what, I can do this too. And, whether it's real estate investing, but just having confidence. And I'm excited to be doing it with my daughter. That was kind of I've been an entrepreneur for a long time and it was always a dream of mine that one day, my daughter would join me. So Kelcie, say hello.
Yes. Hi. Thank you so much, Dori, for having us. And just like Nancy said, we just hope to leave and empower women, honestly, and just ultimately help them at the end of the day.
Oh, well, I'm excited to share the both of you. And I'd like to ask what the inspiration was to start Money Makin Mamas and how did your journey as a mother-daughter team in real estate begin?
Well, I'll start off because now we focus on single family investing. So I have, done multifamily and, but what we specialize in is single family, like, Airbnb properties, long-term rentals, that kind of thing. So I've been doing it since 2006 and I don't want to jump on Kelcie's bandwagon, but when she was a kid, I used to drag her, my husband and I would drag her out to our flip properties and, she couldn't get too excited about, she was in the garage, sweeping out trash or, we had hoarder homes or painting cabinets or that kind of thing. So that was her introduction to real estate investing. And from there, I had a great mentor. I can remember still the first time I bought my first property and I just had pits in my stomach, like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I don't know anything. And I watched a lot of those HGTV shows. I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. And I met a wonderful person who sold me my first rental property. And from there, I'm just very passionate about it because I found that once you know the steps, it's super easy to make money in real estate investing. So I'm going to drop off here because then Kelcie can share how then we came together for Money Making Mamas.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say that I have like the 100% same passion as real estate investing as my mom does, but I have a passion with just my kids and like just staying home with them. And when I was pregnant with my second one, we had bought our first house. That's all we really had done. It was you know, 3-2, definitely needed some TLC, and I just wanted to stay home with my kids. And honestly, at the end of the day, all my paycheck was just going to daycare. So I was like, well, that's silly. I don't want to, pay someone else to watch my kids, and my kids are sick all the time. So ultimately, I went to mom and I just said, hey, I've always been on the sidelines. Can you teach me? And we were able to, through some properties and some partnering opportunities that came up with investing in real estate, I was able to quit my job and have the kids stay home with me and replace my income and ultimately just escape that rat race of the corporate world. And so although I, I always had that fear of it's just too intimidating and whatnot. But yeah, and then that's just kind of how Money Making Mamas was born. We realized that other moms out there wanted the same thing and that we could help them um to spend time with their kids, because I feel like at the end of the day that's what we want. And you always hear spend time with your kids when they're young. And yeah, I mean, it's the greatest gift. I think so. So that's what I'm passionate about. And real estate investing has helped me with that.
And it's so funny, Dory, because what ended up happening as we were, talking about names and, we had to work through the own mother-daughter for all of you that are mothers and have daughters, sometimes, yeah, clash. So we had to have a sit down about, okay, we have roles. So we have defined roles in the company, and we do focus on it. But what's happened now is that we've actually evolved. We've been in business as Money Making Mamas for a little over a year and a half, going on 2 years now. And so what we've realized is it's not just moms with young kids, it's moms, older moms, it's women who are looking to leave the rat race, that we're working 9 to 5, and, we have an entrepreneurial spirit, but we need to break out. And so we feel that real estate investing is a very strong path for women to do that. So it's been very exciting to see how our brand has been growing, and not just reaching, Kelcie's age group, which is very exciting, and but also older moms or moms that their kids have they're empty nesters. Maybe they're thinking they don't have enough money now for retirement, divorcees, widowers. So it's really been our brand has evolved into helping women get out of the rat race and make their own income through real estate investing. So that's been really exciting as well. And so then we ended up we do have a coaching program, but then we are active investors as well. And the key to our success, I would say, is that to really find the deals, we focus on off-market property. So I am a licensed real estate broker here in Texas, so I have access to the multiple listing service, and we use that to, run our numbers and make sure we're buying deals. But what I have found over the years is the best deals are the ones that you make from what we call off-market properties. They're not on the MLS. We've built a network of how to find properties, like just even door knocking, or identifying properties in a neighborhood that are very run down. You've probably, no matter where you live, there's always that house, right? And people are like, what? So we've helped women identify that. And I think the biggest hurdle when we've gone through this is we tackle the question. So it's like, okay, well, how do you find a deal? What does a deal look like? And then how do you pay for it? And so one of the big myths that we knock down is that, you don't have to have, you have to have some money. I'm not here saying you can invest with no money. You got to have some money. But do you always need the $20,000, $25,000, $50,000 to invest in real estate? No, you do not. So there's so many ways that you can make money in real estate. And I think, we just like to break down the barriers and work with women about, okay, well, where are you at? And we meet women where they're at today, to get to where they want to be. And I think that's been our success. Wouldn't you say, Kelcie?
Yeah, I agree.
What do you say to that mom or to that woman out there listening who has that fear? They don't have the time or the money like you said, you don't have to have a lot, but what do you say to them to make them realize that they can do this too?
So this is what we say. So I learned step by step. So I believe in mentorship. You know, you have got to have somebody that you trust, know, like, that can show you the ropes. And that's how I started. And then I'm in turn teaching Kelcie that. So, you know, you hear about the people, like I'll meet people and they'll say, well, I want to make, you know, $100,000 on a flip. And, you know, I'm not saying that that never happens, but, you know, I'm more of a slow and steady gal. So you learn the steps and you build it one brick at a time. So we started out with one house and I learned one strategy because there's a lot of different strategies. And I think what happens is we get overwhelmed because we're like, oh my gosh, we hear all these different people talking about all these different ways you can make money. There's, you know, no money down, or, you know, buying notes, or tax auctions and that kind of thing. And I'll just tell the audience, I've never bought a foreclosure property. I have gone door knocking because I had, you know, paid for a coach that told me to go door knocking, and I never got one house. I got yelled at a lot. I got dogs chasing me. I never got a house. And, you know, we just learned to build a really great referral network. So one of the things that I kind of became a specialist at is working with families who recently lost somebody. Someone passed away in the family. And, you know, if you just start telling people that you're interested in buying real estate, you'll be amazed at all of the people that know somebody that need to sell a house. Because a lot of times our tagline, when I go to a networking event, I'll say, I can buy houses that realtors can't sell. I mean, we've all been there. We've seen those hoarder homes. I watch hoarder TV, right? And, you know, I work with realtors all the time about houses that they just can't sell, or the person would take such a loss, or a lot of times sellers don't have money to fix up their house, you know, because of the situation they're in. So back to your question about what we tell moms and women in general is you start with one step. You know, learn about the neighborhood that you would like to invest in. There's some very simple steps that you can take. Learn what the current market is in your, you know, own backyard. So where we live at, I live in Frisco, Texas, and I would love to tell you, and Kelcie will tell you this too, that we are investing in our own backyard, and we are not, because the price is so expensive here, it doesn't make sense, right? So you have to kind of know what your current market situation is. And then how do the numbers? It's really knowing some simple math and knowing how to apply the formula. So that's what we do. So we invest in areas, we call them secondary markets. So I literally drive about maybe 90 miles from where I live, and I find deals all the time. If anybody's familiar with the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Dallas, there's still deals to be found in Dallas. There's still deals to be found in Fort Worth. It's just the particular suburb that I live in. A lot of people are moving here. We have a lot of touristy kind of things, and you can buy some high-end properties if you want to buy, like, say, a $500,000 house to do Airbnb. I'm not that kind of investor. So when I look for a property, I rarely spend more than $200,000, you know, on the full price of the property. So the first step is just one, knowing your market. If I had to break it down into three things, I'd say one, you know your market. You know, everybody knows a realtor. You know, they can put you on a search engine, if you will, for a particular zip code or neighborhood. We have a heat map, so I can say, okay, I'm only going to buy properties that, you know, the value is only $200,000, and I can literally go into my realtor program and I could do a heat map and I can pull up zip codes in any part of the United States, and so I will know where to look for those properties. And then we do very simple marketing. I'm just going to show your readers here. I have a mom. We like to employ moms. So we write handwritten notes to certain zip codes where we are just asking them, hey, do you know somebody who wants to buy a property? We're looking for a property in that neighborhood. And then number three is knowing what do houses sell for in that neighborhood. So if you're going into a neighborhood and let's say that you're looking for that $200,000 house like I was talking about, and the average price of houses, just for math, because I don't do math off the cuff, is $100,000. Well, I'm not going to pay $200,000 if the average price is $100,000. So those are three easy steps. And Kelcie, how much time can you take in a week to look for that kind of stuff?
Like I normally do like 2 hours total for the whole week, which is not a crazy amount of time during the, my schedule. And I have two littles. I have a 3 and a 2-year-old. So it is possible 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. And I was going to add too, in regards to the money, situation of having to come to the table with, $20,000. That's what my thought was. I was like, well, I don't have that money on hand, but you'd be surprised what $5,000 can get you, or doing a partnership, or one of our strategies that we used was when I ended up quitting, I ended up moving my 401k over to a Roth and doing that. And so there's just different ways. And that's kind of one of the things that we help teach as well. And that goes back to the mentorship, that it's not just having to write a check for $25,000, that we come up with ways to strategize financing and
Yes,
help with that.
On that
exactly.
note, let's take a quick break, say thank you to our supporters, and we'll be back here in just a moment on Word of Mom Radio. She is brave, she is bold, she is you, and we want to tell your story. Are you ready to share your journey with us on Word of Mom Radio? Go to wordofmomradio.com and register as a guest. We want to tell your story because when you win, we all win.
In 2017, Unsilenced Voices was formed to help survivors of domestic abuse and gender-based violence worldwide. The organization currently serves Sierra Leone, Rwanda, Ghana, and the USA. In 2022, Unsilenced Voices gifted over $33,000 to survivors in the USA, and in Sierra Leone, there are over 26 young girls who have been rescued from sex trafficking and domestic abuse and now going through vocational training school in order to better their lives. We need your help. Donations are critical in order for us to continue our work. We also need volunteers to help with research and development. Please visit unsilencedvoices.org for more information.
And we're back here on Word of Mom Radio. We are talking with Money Makin Mamas, Nancy Wallace-Laabs and Kelcie Leka. I am really loving this conversation, and I'm going to ask Kelcie, as that mom with littles, how do you encourage that mom who just does not think there's any way in the world that she can make this happen?
It's definitely, again, like there was mind blocks when I started of like, I want to take the kids on, like, how am I supposed to dedicate my time? But you do have to have some sort of time management. And honestly, as moms, we have that built into us. We're able to organize our days, or we take care of the households. Like at the end of the day, dad doesn't know what we're having for dinner, moms do. And so, we automatically, as women, and it's not just moms, but I think women are just built to have that brain to manage. And so knowing that, hey, if I dedicate 15 to 30 minutes a day, 7 days a week, then yes, that adds up to 2 to 5 hours, depending on how much you're putting in, of looking for deals. And so really it's breaking it down day by day. And then again, not sitting there thinking, oh, I have to have, 100 grand in the savings to go in on this. And honestly, at the end of the day, having a mentor and having a partner just really I feel like, and maybe I'm biased in this situation because my mom helped me out, but regardless, you go to a if you want to lose weight or, get on a certain fitness plan, you go to a personal trainer because that's what their expertise in. You're getting that guide. You're not just going on YouTube and piecing things together. And so I think just having someone to have your back and help walk through that step by step is just astronomical in how we can help. But again, I think for the mom that just feels absolutely overwhelmed, like you have it built in you, like you're able to go to your day to day and say, this is what I got to knock out, and 15 minutes of just looking for some deals, or spending 30 minutes just driving around looking for properties. It is totally doable. And, not every deal, not every real estate investing deal is a flip. You don't have to go in there and spend, 60 days building cabinets or breaking down walls. That's not real estate. I mean, real estate investing can be flipping houses, but it can also be completely on the sidelines. You don't have to touch the property at all. You could just see the property. and you're in real estate investing. So honestly, again, it's just breaking it down into, I think people have this mindset that real estate investing is this monster thing. And it can be, but having someone to help break it down with you and having that partnership and mentorship is really helpful.
Do each of you have your favorite story of a mom that you helped, that you've mentored, that has gone on?
I think for me, I'll go first because I have a shorter version. But since doing this, we've we've had, a couple moms, but we've also had just women in general too, like saying the time that they get back in general. I think that's the feeling that I love, and hearing the things that I love of how real estate investing has helped. But I know she has like 10 millions of stories, so I'm gonna let her lead that one.
So a lot of women that come to us are, usually working a full-time position like nursing, teaching, that kind of thing. So they have, long hours, and they're looking either to break out of that, healthcare, with all the healthcare changes and whatnot. So my most recent story that I'll share, we had a gal, she was young. She was probably I won't give away my age and I won't give away Kel, but she was in between, right? And she had junior high children. And she was just really looking for a way to supplement her income for retirement so she could retire a little bit sooner. And she was referred to me by somebody else. So long story short, what I always do is I'll have like a phone call with someone, and it'll be a Zoom because I want to get to know them. And I really wanted to find out what her goals were and how much time she has and what her expectations were. Because if she comes to me with, I want to make $400,000 in 6 months, I'm not going to be the right person for her. So anyway, we started out small, but she got really excited when I showed her, that she was able to invest in her own backyard. We did a quick search and we found 15 different properties within her price range. And she was looking for buy and hold, because I feel that, buy and hold meaning rentals, long-term rentals, because you get a lot of she needed a lot of tax benefits and that kind of thing. So anyway, we found some properties. I went and walked two with her, and one she went to by herself, and she took some video and sent it to me, and then we analyzed it, because we also teach women how to analyze a property within 10 minutes. You don't need to spend hours and hours to find out if this is going to be a deal or not. So she ended up buying her first property we closed within 45 days of her starting to work with us. Well, what I really think that this is the success story is then she referred two of her friends to me. And now they work together to buy properties together. They kind of formed an LLC, and they're now building their own portfolio and a kind of a company so that they can then, maybe eventually sell it. I also teach people how to get into short-term rentals. So that's what they're looking for next. So, and that was, I think that's a testimonial just from, she took what I taught her, and then she was able to buy her first property. And then she referred two of her friends to me, and they're continuing to, find properties. We also teach people how to find the money. Like it's, you're not going to go to Chase or Bank of America to get the loan. We teach people how to build their own network of private money lenders, which is just, a fancy way of saying partner with people who have money. Because our thing is, you want to use other people's money, OPM. That's another strategy that, goes along with, not only just finding the property, but then if you want to, when you want to purchase it, how do you do that? If you don't have all the money and you just, you have money for inspection, how to partner. So we actually are working with these gals to help them set up the right, LLC, so everybody's protected. And then they're taking the step-by-steps to build their own portfolio of rental properties.
Before we wrap up, I want to hear a little bit about your podcast.
Okay.
I love sharing other podcasters.
All right. Our podcast is Money Makin Mamas, and it's Makin with a Makin, no G, because I can't guarantee what you're going to get with that. And it's so funny. We started it this year, and we did it as just kind of Kelcie and I sitting down and we talk about being mother-daughter entrepreneurs and other women. So it's not always about real estate investing. We did one on how to network, like when you go out, how to do networking. And I don't know, Kelcie, why don't you give your 2 cents about our podcast? Well, I think it's a lot of fun. So,
Yeah, I mean, when we first started, when she had this idea, I was like, man, no one wants to hear us. But I think the coolest thing for me was I was kind of hesitant towards it only because of the amount of work that we'd have. I mean, because it is a lot of work. Like I definitely we learned some lessons, some hard lessons. And so, and our even, our production needs to go up a lot. We're very amateur level, but it was really cool. We were at a networking event and they had like advertised, hey, Money Makin Mamas is coming tonight. And we had someone that we like didn't know or anything like that. And they came up to us, and it was actually a networking episode. And they came up to us and they were like, hey, like, I really enjoyed your networking episode, or like I've learned a lot from it. And that was a kind of a cool moment for me because I was like, oh, people are listening. Like, the 5 people out there.
and I want to just say, as a business tool, I want to, leave this with your audience, is that it actually is a very great, we didn't really know, we did it just because we wanted to have fun. I turned my dining room into our podcast studio, probably going to change that a little bit, but it's a great marketing tool because since we launched, we host a webinar every month on some kind of real estate investing. It's completely free. People can reach out to us, and it's not on our website. It's on Facebook. I usually put the event, but every month we do a webinar on some aspect of real estate investing. So another company out of Florida actually reached out to us, and they're hosting that and doing all the marketing for us. Just today, I was interviewed by Texas Realtor magazine about the pre-probate leads I was talking about. So it's opened a lot of doors that who knew, right? And we tell some funny stories about when Kelcie was growing up, and we have one, I don't know if it's in our first episode or second, that we, did a shout out to Coleman Coolers about a moving experience we had. So we were busting the gut in that one.
Yeah.
You know what?
So now they'll have to tune in and find that one.
The reality is podcasting brands you as an expert in your field. It really
Yes.
truly does. So as we're wrapping up, what do you want to leave our listeners with, and how may they reach out to you?
So we did just recently launch an ebook. It's called Own It, right? And you can find it on our website, which is Money Makin. So it's Money Makin, MAKIN, Mamas, MAMAS.com. You can also find us on YouTube, same name. We're on Instagram. Kelcie, am I missing anything?
I mean, we're on all the social medias. So
Yes.
just, look for us there. But yeah, we recently did this ebook called Own It. So that's on our website, and our podcast. Definitely, we're in a little, holiday shift, but we're not really on a set schedule. We just kind of release one. We're going to, New Year have some.
Pick
It's
it
just
up
that weird
in
time.
2026. So yeah,
But yeah.
the other thing is that we are evolving as we are working with more and more women. We're finding that, through the Money Making Mama brand, that we're able to look at business strategies, and it's all about breaking out of the rat race. I mean, that's really sort of what our message has started to become, is breaking out of the rat race if you want to work for yourself, I mean, and we were just signed by a national realtor company for me to come in and redo their training to teach their realtors how to work with investors. So, and all of that has just happened in the last probably 6 months. And most of it, I'm attributing it to the podcast. So if you don't have a podcast, do it, even if you don't even know what you're doing.
Yep.
I think,
Yep.
didn't we do an episode about things we learned when you did a podcast? So.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we love being on other people's podcast stories. So we're so happy that we could be on, a
Yes.
podcast like yours that support mompreneurs and business women and all of that. So thank you so much.
Yes,
Oh, it's
thank
my
you.
pleasure. I love sharing fellow podcasters. And all of the Money Makin Mamas links are going to be live on wordofmomradio.com. I encourage you to reach out. Nancy, Kelcie, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dori. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
It's been my pleasure. Okay, so for all of you tuning in, thank you for being here. We're going to close out with our fabulous theme song from Smith Sisters and the Sunday Drivers. So till next time, this is Dori DeCarlo saying go out and create a marvelous you. Bye for now.
She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is you. Sure of herself, yeah, she takes care of biz. Powerful and strong, yeah, she knows who she is. Has integrity, woman strong and true. You know her by name, see this woman is you. She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is sure. She